Welcome back to the JCPod, presented by Stare Down Sports. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell. Hey man, episode 109 is going to be a great one today. Crazy weekend in sports. CFP. The world is outraged about the college football playoffs. We got NFL action. First off, it was the weekend of overs in the NFL as well, but also the weekend of injuries. That was crazy. What else happened? In-season tournament action happened. Shout out Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers. What else? That's about it, I think, right, man? Also, shout out to Mike Evans, Christian McCaffrey. I think those are the two guys we got that have, if you followed my futures that we took at the beginning of the year, I think those two boys have cash. Shout out. Mike Evans is going stupid he's going stupid this year. Shout out him. We'll talk about him a little bit later. But yeah, a lot to talk about. A lot of injuries. A lot of action. NFL playoffs. There's a lot to get into today. College football playoffs as well, so I think what we're going to do is talk a lot about the NFL real quick, and then I'll save the second half of the episode about the college football playoffs, and then basically probably briefly touch on the in-season tournament, because I won't lie, I haven't watched much of it. I just saw the scores yesterday. I saw the Patriots move on. I think maybe the Kings moved on. I haven't been fully touched in on it, but I'll at least bring it up because it is something that's happening now, so. And we are a sports show. Might as well, right? So without any further ado, we're going to hop right in. I let it off with the news last week. I don't know how I'm going to do it this week. I think I'm just going to kind of lead in some news, talk about the games, hopefully check off some stuff as we go, maybe talk about a little bit of Heisman as well. Penix and Jaden Daniels are the two guys for Heisman. That's kind of interesting. I don't know, we're going to bounce around today. A lot of football to talk about. There is a lot of football to talk about. So without any further ado, man, let's hop right in, right? We'll start with shout out Jake Browning, man. We'll just get that out of the way right now. Shout out Jake Browning, man. Browning had himself a game on Monday Night Football. I ended up taking the Jaguars late, put some little bit of money on them, thinking, there's no way Jake Browning continues to play as good. He played amazing last night. A lot of the questions that we had about the Jaguars defense showed up. They have had issues this year. And, you saw it last night. They made Jake Browning try to beat him, and that dude beat him. Can't say much else about it. Shout out that boy Jake Browning, man. That boy had himself a game last night. I'll need to check the stats because I don't remember. I just remember he threw for 300. We got a little bit of overtime action. The first over to hit in Monday Night Football in a while. Now the over is 13-2. I took the under. Never taken an NFL under again the rest of the season. I took the last two games. The over hit easily in the week of overs. I'm an idiot for thinking otherwise. But yeah, it started off with Travis Etienne scored. Evan Ingram got his first touchdown of the year. Joe Mixon had two of them things. Jamar Chase had touchdown. Trevor Lawrence had a touchdown. Trevor Lawrence also got injured. That's something we'll need to talk about in a second. But yeah, Jake Browning, man, 32 of 37 for 354 yards and a touchdown. Beginning of the game, he only had a pass for about 4 yards downfield. So I was sitting there, it's oh man, we're really going to lose to dink and dunk. Hey, that boy let it loose though, let it go. He let that thing fly a little bit. It looked really nice. And the thing that I'm super excited about now is, first off, not that Trevor Lawrence injury. That truly does suck, but Colts, baby. Can't wait to talk about the Colts, man. Hey, they're right behind the Jaguars. I wish I took something on them to win the division at plus 500. I don't even know what it is now. We can talk about that game a little bit more in a second. Oh yeah, something else I forgot to talk about. We're gonna talk about some season awards. I'll bring them up briefly just to run through them when I get through the NFL. So yeah, a lot of football. I just thought about that. Yeah, back to the Jags. I meant to talk about the Colts as well for standings conference. The AFC South is locked, but they have the Colts in third place. I'm interested to see what their odds are. The Jags did sweep them, but I'm 100% going to take the Colts because we're going to talk about the Jaguars' schedule. Jaguars, that was a huge loss last night. They had a chance to be first in the division, control their own destiny, but yes, apparently Trevor Lawrence only had an ankle sprain, which is insane. That looks so horrible. I thought he did something else with his knee, so thankfully it's just an ankle sprain. I don't know how long he'll be out. We'll have to... I don't know. We'll have to see, man. If you guys saw the graphic last night, the injury graphic with quarterbacks around the NFL, it's horrible, man. It's truly horrible. Yeah, and geez, you look at the this is something I had in my notes. These are the quarterbacks for the teams in their relative respected seeds. Dolphins are the 1 seed. Here's their quarterback, Tua. Who's starting right now? Tua. Ravens, Lamar. Who's starting right now? Lamar. Mahomes, 3. Who's starting right now? Mahomes. And then this is where it gets crazy. Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence is the main starter. We don't know who it is. 5, Steelers, main starter Kenny. We got Mr. Trubisky and Deshaun Watson. We had him in. Now it's Joe Flacco, who probably won't play after the way he played last game. He wasn't bad, but it got a little interesting at the end. He started to have a little bit of them Joe Flacco stuff. And then when the Colts, Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew's in right now. It's just the year of the QB injury and the injury in general. But yeah, overall, man, shout out to the Bengals. Big win on Monday Night Football. Their first win in like 9 games, I think. So I forget what the year was, but I think maybe 1990 I saw. First time they won a Monday Night Football game. Lost 9 in a row. So shout out to them. Shaquille Leonard also, by the way. Signed with the Eagles. Shout out my boy Shaq. Kind of sucks. The Colts let him go. I think literally 2 weeks after EJ Speed got hurt. So I don't know how long he's out, but yeah, it's kind of funny how a guy immediately gets hurt and it's like, oh, we got rid of kind of one of our best players, or I guess he was. I don't know if he is anymore. Obviously he's not anymore. He's on the damn team. But okay, we'll keep moving on. But yeah, we'll move on. Shout out to the Browns. Big win Monday night. Tank Dell, that injury was really sad. Fractured fibula. He's probably done for the season. Don't know why we have a 165-pound receiver in the middle, run blocking on the goal line. I mean, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. I'm not going to lie. Hopefully they learn their lesson from that. Hope Tank Dell's able to heal up. The Chiefs are in trouble. The Packers won on Monday Night Football. Jordan Love might be a guy. Hey. He might be a guy. I thought he showed signs of it against the Saints in that second half comeback, and then since then the Packers were horrible, basically. Didn't do really well, and then all of a sudden the last few games they've just been turning on, playing really well. There's a chance they backdoor playoff spot. That is insane to think about, man. I like how we were going to talk about the Jaguars' schedule, and I just blew off it completely, right? We'll get back. We'll talk. We might end up with that later. But that AFC South all of a sudden just got pretty potentially interesting. But going back to the Packers and the Chiefs, that was a really interesting game, man. Kind of. Not really. No, it wasn't bad, honestly. It was an interesting watch. It's just that first drive. When that first drive took about 9 minutes and everything, that kind of set the tone for the game. It's like, oh, so this Chiefs defense isn't going to be able to get off the field tonight, huh? And they basically couldn't. Whenever the Packers wanted to do something, it felt like they could. Shout out to Christian Watson. He hurt his hamstring, it looked like, but he had 2 touchdowns. Really awesome game from him. Isaiah Pacheco continues to be really good on the ground. We got Mahomes, 21 for 33, 210, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I mean, the Chiefs just don't look right now. There's just something off about them. Offensively, you can tell that they're definitely lacking weapons now. Rasheed Wright. I mean, I don't even want to get into the officiating of that game. If we're being honest, I could do a 10-minute tangent on the officiating. Both sides. The officiating was horrible. I was even on the Chiefs, and they had, I bet on the Chiefs a little bit when it came towards the second half. And then I even saw, when they hit Mahomes, they even lay on out. It's like, that wasn't really that big of a call. So then, not calling the pass interference, I was just like, oh, man, that's just horrible. There was multiple calls I can get through the whole game. Officiating as a whole was just horrible in Sunday Night Football. But it doesn't matter. Packers got to win. Jordan Love, 267, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's really impressive, dude. I won't lie to you. I'm beyond impressed with Jordan Love. At this point, he has definitely had his lows, but some of the highs you get, man. I mean, he has some of the Aaron Rodgers mannerisms in his throws, the way he kind of carries himself. He seems, I'm not gonna lie, he seems kind of like he has a little bit of dog in him. I don't know. I'm just really impressed by the kid, man. He played really well. AJ Dillon, 18 for 73, 4.1 to carry on the ground. Shout out AJ Dillon having a really effective rushing games. He played really well, truly. We'll move on to an ass-beating 42-19. There's not much to talk about in this game. The 49ers just came into the Eagles' house and kicked their ass. Big Dom got thrown out of the game. He's becoming a star, basically, overnight. Greenlaw got ejected with him. Christian McCaffrey scored a touchdown. Debo scored, I think, 2 or 3. The 49ers just beat their ass, pretty much. The Eagles just didn't... I don't want to say they didn't get up for the game, because I'm assuming they obviously did, but they just didn't. The 49ers seemed to want that game. I mean, the Eagles might have wanted to win that game, but the 49ers wanted to win that game. They just came in and kicked their ass, dude. I can't emphasize it enough. I mean, that was an ass beating. I had a mean little 5-leg parlay, last leg, Eagles plus 7.5. I'm like, that shouldn't be too bad. They should be able to at least keep it close by a touchdown at home. Boy, was I way wrong. I should have took the alt spread I mean, all spread plus like 23.5. I wanted that thing to hit. Yeah, no, that was a really bad game by the Eagles. They just basically got boat raced. They scored 19. I mean, 49 scored 14 in second, third, and fourth quarter. They just looked. I mean, the Eagles went up 6-0, and then that was about where their lead stopped. So, like I said, shout out to the 49ers, man. Dominating performance. They damn near earned it. Another dominating performance. Dolphins basically, I think, score all touchdowns, get one field goal early. They just couldn't get off the field. I mean, the Commanders couldn't get them off the field. They just basically got blown out. I don't know what's going to be with their coaching staff at this point. It feels like they're going to get a lot of the rumors I'm hearing, it sounds like they're going to get a whole reset pretty much. I don't know if that means Eric Bieniemy is going to be now a new offensive coordinator somewhere else as well, but it doesn't sound like, even though he thinks he's going to be there, I don't think Ron Rivera is going to be there anymore. It sounds like he's about done. Did I do Hot Seat Coach of the Week last week? I don't think I did. If I do, we'll just say Ron Rivera. I mean, he's I don't know. He's just like a corpse walk, it feels like, for this Commanders team at this point. I didn't expect them to win this game, but they just didn't. 45-15 is just an ass beating. There's Tyreek Hill. The big thing to talk about in this game, I think, would be Tyreek Hill. Devon Achane had 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had 2 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert had 1 himself. Van Ginkel intercepted return for a touchdown. That was a really cool play by him. Shout out. But yeah, I think the biggest thing to talk about is Tyreek Hill, man. This is where it leads into the season awards slightly, so we'll preview it a little bit. Tyreek Hill to win MVP, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm thinking about doing it. This feels like if any season's going to happen to be this season. I mean, you got Dak at plus 300, Brock Purdy at plus 300, Hurts at plus 350. I will take a flyer on Mahomes at plus 650. I wouldn't necessarily give that one out, but I'm personally probably going to take it. I think potentially that, I mean, if anybody's going to win it, Mahomes has a chance to steal it with how good. Like, I mean, he seriously, if the Chiefs end up, like, being really, really good, like, if they end up going on the run real quick, taking a 1 seed, which I don't know if they will at this point. They seem like they have a lot of problems. I mean, it's going to be because of him, because they don't got that many good receiving weapons. I'm just trying to find Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, plus 1,500. If anybody's going to win it this year, if any year a QB's not going to win it, it's going to be this year, so that's what I'm looking at for that. I'm very interested in to see what Tyreek Hill does. Obviously, like I said, there's Dak there that could win it with how good the Cowboys do, but they have a game against the Eagles where if the Eagles beat them and the Cowboys finish like their normal, like what, 12 and, we'll say 12 and 5 because I think 17. 12, they go like 12 and 5. I mean, I don't know if that's MVP worthy. It's still good. It could be. I don't know. But if Tyreek Hill gets 2,000, which is the main point I want to make, Tyreek Hill might get 2,000. This was a big game for him. They just didn't guard him. They gave him 157 receiving yards. So for the year, I want to see what he has for the year. 1481. 1481 for him on the year. I wish I would have done this like before the show. I forgot to. It's on me. 1481 with how many games left? They got. My bad. I did the math wrong. I kept. It might be a little too early in the morning. I was trying to do the math on basically his yards. I kept doing his yards. It's like he has 1481. Why does he need 296 more? It's like, hey, jackass. Shout out Orlando Brown for that, by the way. That was hilarious last night. It's like, hey, jackass, you kind of gotta figure out the number, how much more he needs, not what he got. But yeah, 100. Duke, thanks to that little bit of help from the Commanders game. 103. Tyreek Hill needs 103 more yards in each of these games, and they play Cowboys, Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. This Titans game, if Tyreek Hill gets about 200 yards, 150. I'm going to take it over again. If he gets about 150 yards against the Titans, I think he's going to have a real shot at that 2,000, which is insane history to think about. There's a real shot, man. Tyreek Hill's balling out right now, so that's something. Shout out to the Dolphins, man. That was a big blowout for them. Now we'll start going down the list a little bit. Thursday night, Cowboys-Seahawks. This was actually a really, really good game. Back and forth game the whole way. It came down to basically the Cowboys, late scores, late field goals. They basically pulled away a little bit late, but it was overall. There's not too much to talk about in this game. It's just a really good game by both sides. Cowboys end up getting the win. Now they're going to focus their eyes on the Eagles upcoming next on Sunday Night Football this upcoming week. And as for the Seahawks, that's just a really tough loss for them. I mean, they played tough, but just barely aren't able to pull it out. And it's going to end up now being them against the 49ers on. That's tough, man. After just losing to the 49ers last week on Thanksgiving, almost stealing one in Jerry World against the Cowboys, now they go back to the 49ers, who are hot off a win against the Eagles. So this is going to be a tough one, man. Tough one for both of these squads, but I think it should be really good. Game of the day at the 1 o'clock slate. Chargers-Patriots. No, I'm just kidding. Chargers win 6-0. Nothing to talk about in this game. The weather was bad, but both teams played even worse than the weather was. 6-0. Hey, it's really hard to cover a 5.5 point spread with only 2 field goals. I give him respect. Apparently, shout out Bill Simmons for what he said on his podcast. I'm going to kind of steal from it because he's the Patriots guy. He said Bailey Zappi didn't do anything to make them lose the game, but he didn't exactly help them out to win the game. He didn't do any of the dumb, quote-unquote, dumb Mac Jones plays that Bill Simmons likes to call them that we have been seeing the last few weeks. But for the most part, it was 6-0 game. Not much to talk about. Chargers kind of underperformed. You'd think they would perform a little bit better, even though the elements were bad. You would think they could score a little bit more, but nope. The real game of the day, Falcons-Jets. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get back. That's a teaser. The next one we're going to talk about will actually probably be the game of the 1 o'clock slate. Falcons-Jets. Disgusting. First off, the safety play that the Falcons had. Worst safety play. I mean, that was the longest developing run play I've ever seen. Linemen were getting blown up in the backfield, so that safety was well-deserved on the Jets' part. Jets really earned that safety against the Falcons. Seriously, the Falcons, stand up, turn around. And it looked robotic, it felt like, with how long it took to get the play going. So then that gets blown up, but 13-8 win for the Falcons. Tim Boyle is just not that guy at all. They finally realized that, so they put Trevor Siemian in. And now it's coming out that they want to go back to Zach Wilson, but Zach Wilson doesn't know if he wants to go back to them. It's a mess. The New York Jets are officially a mess. I mean, seriously. How do you want to go back to Zach Wilson after you just told him, we're going to bench you for Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian? And now they're just about as bad as everybody else expected. So now everyone's laughing. Everyone's laughing. The Jets are the laughing stock right now. And it's kind of well-deserved. I mean, everyone thought the same thing. It's why'd you not get a real quarterback that can do something? That's not a backup named Tim Boyle or Trevor Siemian. They don't. So they're stuck with these three now. They kind of want to go back to Zach Wilson. We don't know what's going to happen. Shout out to the Falcons, man. First in their division. Everyone was laughing at Arthur Smith, wanted to hit him out of town 3 weeks ago. Now all of a sudden they're number one in their division. Going really strong, man. The rest of their schedule, they have a chance to make some magic happen. They play the Bucks, Panthers, Colts, Bears, Saints. They have 3 division games. Three very important division games. I think they at least will go 2-1 in these with the loss either the Bucks or the Saints. But I think it'd be maybe the Saints out of anybody. But this is a really good Falcons team for what they could be better, but they're still pretty good. Shout out to the Jets, 4-8. Just not having that good of a season ever since Aaron Rodgers got hurt. It's just been ever since he got hurt, the quarterback position's just been a mess for them. Game of the day, though, 1 o'clock slate, the real one. Colts, Titans. 31-28 shootout in Nashville. This was honestly one of the most fun, exciting games of the day, non-biasly. I mean, there starts off, Derrick Henry gets a rushing touchdown right away. And then basically 13-26, Derrick Henry gets a rushing touchdown. 12-12, Gardner Minshew throws a bomb to Alex Pierce, who had his first 100-yard receiving day of his career. Shout out, my boy. I mean, after that happened, you're it's about to be a shootout. Then doesn't score a little bit. Nick Folk gets a field goal. Second quarter, Derrick Henry gets a rushing touchdown. Colts just get field goal. Now this is where the magic happens. Third quarter, baby. Another field goal happens by Matt Gay. It's been a little bit back and forth. Colts get a block punt for a touchdown. Special teams play of the day. Shout out Coach Fim. He told us, biggest thing, you win 80% of the games, you get a block punt in. Well, the Colts got 2 of them, so they should have won this game by 160% according to those odds. It was absolutely insane. They tied up the first one. Shout out my boy Stewart. Gets his first, Mr. Irrelevant of the 2021 draft, gets his first NFL touchdown of his career on a block punt. It was absolutely amazing block punt. Then later, a little bit later, we get Matt Gay gets another field goal. This is where it gets actually exciting. I can't remember if this happened first or not, but DeAndre Hopkins ended up getting a late touchdown. But I think the Colts, before he got that late touchdown, the Colts blocked another punt. This is the one where the guy ran on the sideline, timed it up perfectly, sprints in, cleanly blocks it. But shout out to Stonehouse, the punter for the Titans. Gruesome injury with his leg. We had a lot of gruesome leg injuries today. We got a chain gang guy for the Saints game that got his leg really badly injured. We had Stonehouse, who I'm pretty sure we'll look it up right now. I don't know what the injury was exactly, but it was absolutely disgusting. I don't even want to. I don't think I want to go into like detail on what actually happened, but it's a serious injury, man. It's really, really bad. He's officially out for the season. I mean, they had him out for the season before. I mean, yeah, they had him out for the season before the game even was like finished yesterday. Like basically, as soon as he was like carted off the field and everything, it's like, yep, he's out. It's basically very similar to the Nick Chubb injury. For those of you who absolutely want to know and have to have a visualization of it, very similar to the Nick Chubb injury. It was absolutely just disgusting. So I really like I said, feel bad for Stonehouse. Hope he heals quickly. That's really scary, man. Especially for punter, you're just exposed the way you got hit. I mean, that's sad. So then basically overtime happens. The Titans kind of force overtime, I'm assuming, with this touchdown then. I think that field goal Matt Gay got was because of the block punt. Yeah, it was. So that block punt I just talked about, Matt Gay field goal right after that. Then the Titans marched down the field. They scored a touchdown. Shout out to, by the way, earlier in the game, Will Levis, man. I don't know if you guys seen this highlight. If you have, you should check it out. He basically gets a fumble and a ball they kind of threw forward. Sprints after it like it's, I don't know how to describe I wouldn't know what I was compared to. But he basically sprints after it, rips it away from the DB, and recovers his own fumble after. No, he makes the DB fumble and then recovers that fumble. So basically, he fumbled, forced the DB to fumble, then recovered it himself. It was a really wild play. Well, I loved what I saw from Will Levis, honestly, but I loved what I saw from Gardner Minshew a lot more. Gardner Minshew, after the field goal, he takes the team down the field. Mike throws an absolute dart to Michael Pittman after throwing a bomb to Alec Pierce. And Gardner Minshew, 26 for 42, 312, 2 touchdowns. Shout out my boy Gardner, man. He balled out yesterday. That was really awesome. Another game to talk about real quick, Rams-Browns. This one I can blow through really quickly. It was really close basically until the fourth quarter, and then the Rams just absolutely put it away. Joe Flacco didn't seem horrible. There was a chance where everyone was kind of like, okay, hey, he might have earned this, and then he kind of had a few moments like, yeah, that's kind of why. He's an old man, though. I think the combined age between him and Stafford in that game was 73, so shout out. That's a bunch of old men doing that thing. Denver Broncos, Houston Texans. This was actually a really good game. It's starting to get to the point where Russell Wilson's kind of like the corpse Miami Heat, where if you just let him linger around in the game, if Russ just lingers around the game, there is a little bit of fear factor there. It's like, damn, what is this guy about to do to us? What is this guy going to do now? I mean, he does a really good job. He's done a really good job protecting the ball this year up until this game. He had 3 interceptions this game. One of them very late was basically a jump ball in the end zone, which is understandable. He was trying to win it. Shout out C.J. Stroud. This was the game that Tank Dell got injured in, which was really sad to see. Shout out Nico Collins, too. 9 for 191 and a touchdown. Absolutely went off. He pretty much beat me in fantasy. I had DK Metcalf, and Nico Collins basically eliminated DK Metcalf from the situation. So that really sucked because as soon as that happened, it's like, oh, damn, that's going to probably hurt because my team had a good week, but opponents had just slightly better. Yeah, this was a really good game as well, back and forth. These flirty Texans, man, they're in a playoff hunt as well. That game, they have a game against the Colts upcoming. For the Texans, it's Jets, Titans, Browns, Titans, Colts. That is huge for them to play the Titans twice late this season, especially with the way the Titans have been playing. Very, very interesting how this AFC South is going to turn out. We got 3 teams that potentially can make the playoffs. Hey now. Let's see, anything else? Lions-Saints. Lions go up 21-0 real quick. The Saints basically fight back. Derek Carr gets planted in the ground. Gets hurt really bad. Shout out. Not shout out him. I was going to say shout out Jimmy Graham. Sorry, there was an awkward pause there. Shout out Jimmy Graham. He scored a touchdown again. Got back in the end zone. That boy been balling. Shout out Alvin Kamara. 2 touchdowns as well. James Williams had a nice rushing touchdown for the Lions. Monty had a rushing touchdown for the Lions. Sam Laporta, 9 for 9 for 140 and a touchdown. This rookie tight end is going crazy, man. Sam Laporta's become a guy. He's established himself as a stud tight end. I'm very excited to see how this kid's career goes. He had 140 of Jared Goff's 213 yards. I mean, that's insane. We'll go to the Bucs game real quick, just because, Baker Mayfield had 202 passing yards. Mike Evans had 162 of his 202. 7 receptions, 1 touchdown. Bucs don't cover. They win by 3 in a very tough divisional battle. But Mike Evans, 10 straight years since he's been in the league. He's been in the league 10 years. 10 years he's had 1,000 yards. Mike Evans, with the Super Bowl ring, I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer guaranteed at this point because of this. The only other person to do this is Jerry Rice, but Jerry Rice started in his second season, so Jerry Rice has 14, so Mike Evans has 4 or 5 more seasons to go to beat his record, which is potentially possible if Mike Evans is able to stay healthy. But shout out this boy Mike Evans, man. He is a dog. I bet on him to score all year, and he's just that's all he's done. If you look at his stats now, he has 10 touchdowns on the year. If you took the over with me, it was about plus 470. Cashed that on the year. Same thing with the Christian McCaffrey one. I forgot to say that out, the Eagles. Christian McCaffrey, if you took it with me, we had him to score over 10 rushing touchdowns this year, plus 100. Was it just rushing? I can't remember if it's rushing or not. We'll have to look back at that. Because I think he has... Because actually, it doesn't matter. I'm stupid. He already has way over it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He has 12 rushing touchdowns. So yeah, he's way over that. Those two were I think my favorite touchdown bets I gave out this year. Just simply for the fact that, especially Chris McCaffrey's, his at plus money was absolutely a joke. I can't believe the books did that. I think we touched on every game. I have one more game to talk about. This one where Kenny Pickett got injured. Cardinals Steelers. This was a tough one for Steelers Nation. They weather delays. Weird. This was just a weird game. There was 2 weather delays in this game. Kenny Pickett got hurt. Boswell missed a field goal. Deontay Johnson celebrated the touchdown down 20. There was just a lot of wild stuff in this game. Shout out James Conner returning to Pittsburgh, 2 rushing touchdowns. A little bit of a revenge factor game. We love to see that. So shout out him for being able to get that thing done. And yeah, shout out Trey McBride, 8 receptions, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. Another young tight end who's having a really good year. And yeah, I think that's about going to do it. I don't think there's too much more to talk about in that game. Ramondre Stevenson is going to miss time with a high ankle sprain. That really sucks. Oh, man. Injuries were awful this week. There's a lot of people got hurt. Puka Nacua expected to face Ravens. He has an AC joint sprain. That's another guy who's injured. I'm trying to burn... Derrick Henry, I don't think, has a concussion. He left the game with a concussion. I think they said he's good to go. I'm trying to burn through some injuries, see if there's anything that I really missed. Derek Carr, like we said, he's injured. I don't know what his situation's going to be now. I think we might be good. I won't lie, though. That Derek Carr hit, he got planted. Kenny Pickett hurt, Tank Dell fractured fibula. We talked about that. Zach Ertz was released. We're going to see, interesting to see where he ends up. By the way, Aaron Rodgers, who tore his Achilles, unlikely to return in 2023. Imagine that. I don't think it's a shock to anybody. I think it's funny that it's still news. People are still like, he might come back. It's like, Jets are 4-8. They ain't making the playoffs. He's not coming back for nothing. They're probably just going to wait to stay healthy. The Panthers evacuate J.C. Horn, Jeremy Chin off their IR, and Gross Matos, which is very huge for them. Get some defenders back. I actually do think that should be about it. Keenan Allen did play this week. McCaffrey could be a MVP as well. I just think with how good the 49ers are, there's a chance he might not get it. I saw his coach trying to push him to be. Julius Pepper, is it Julius? Sorry, Jabril Peppers, in a hot mic incident, he called the Patriots ass. Had to come out and apologize about it. It's going to be funny to see how Bill Belichick called him in his office. He's like, honestly, you're right, but please don't say that to the public. But no, honestly, let's go to NCAA football, man. I think that does it for the NFL. We will quickly talk about conference championship. Shout out Liberty. Perfect season. Win their bowl game. Got a New Year's Six bowl against Oregon, I believe. That's going to be a fun battle. I will look at some of these bowl games, and we'll talk about the college football playoffs. I will burn through this. Oregon, Washington play a tough battle. Oregon ends up falling short, though. Washington, undefeated, makes it into the college football playoffs. Shout out Michael Penix and the Washington Huskies. Miami, Ohio, Toledo. Shout out my boy, Colby Borders. I don't know why that was a tongue twister. Shout out my boy. Played a little bit of high school ball with him for like about a year. I think he was a sophomore when I was a senior. I believe that was the difference. Miami of Ohio, though, beats Toledo to win the MAC championship. That was awesome. Not a lot of people picked them. Shout out to them. Texas beat that ass on Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State loses big. Texas taking the Big 12 championship with them to the SEC. So that's a big win for them. Shout out them. UNLV blown out by Boise State, 44-20. Shout out Boise State. strong year after struggling at the beginning of the year. They're able to finish 8-5 strong with the conference championship. You love to see that. Game of the day, Alabama, Georgia. This was a really fun watch, really awesome back and forth battle. Georgia ends up getting a rushing touchdown late to make it a 3-point game instead of 10-point game. But shout out Bama, SEC Championship. They make the college football playoffs. Knocks Georgia from 1-6. Tulane ends up falling short to SMU. SMU, big win to win the AAC. Big win to move on to their season next year. That's going to be some great momentum to ride for both of these small schools. Troy absolutely blows out Appalachian State 49-23. Happy, this was probably one of the few bowl games I predicted right that I was like dead on about, where it's like, yeah, Troy should be able to handle them, and they were able to. Big win by Troy. Shout out to them boys. Louisville able not to hold on to Florida State. Florida State did not make the playoffs. That is the big conversation. And Michigan blows out Iowa 26-0. Not shocking. The biggest thing is Michigan covered. But yeah, Florida State, man, it's a flawed system. 4 playoff spot, 5 power conferences. You knew somebody wasn't going to end. It just shows you. I think Tom Fernelli said it best I saw this on Twitter. He was talking about how you just see how valuable the ACC is now to these committees and everything. They'd rather have an 8-1 SEC team in versus an ACC team in. I also understand the issues with injuries and quarterback and all that. I'm not going to get into it. I can understand on both sides. Like, I also understand, like, yeah, if they want to have... It's a flawed system. That's the easiest way to put it. It's a flawed system. I understand that. I get that. I wish it was better, honestly, for those kids. Those kids at Florida State deserve a chance to play for college football championship. I mean, what else can they do, man? They went undefeated. They played a decent... I know their schedule wasn't the hardest, but they played up some tough out-of-conference opponents when some schools didn't. That's just how it goes, man. The committee wants who they want in at the end of the day, so... That's why it's good it's going to go to 12, because then we can argue about some not bottom tier teams, but more bottom, like 15, 16. 13 are going to be the new arguments now. So, it's tough, though. I won't lie. It is pretty horrible for some of those kids who didn't get a chance. But shout out Texas, Alabama, Michigan, and Washington. Those are our 4 teams for college football playoffs. It might be Alabama, Texas. It might be the rematch we get. I have no idea. I think that's where I'm kind of leaning right now, is Alabama, Texas. We have 1 game upcoming left in the season for college football. Army, Navy. That's going to be a really fun one. I don't know if I'll have a pick for you yet. I'll let everybody know. But here, hey, we're going to go over some bowl games real quick. We're just going to burn through these because I'm going to preview these probably... We're going to preview these. Some of these don't start for another 2 weeks, so we'll preview them in a few weeks. I just want to at least go over them. Georgia Southern and Ohio are going to play in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Jacksonville State and the Raging Cajuns are going to play in the New Orleans Bowl. That's going to be an interesting one. Appalachian State and Miami of Ohio in the Cure Bowl. Probably going to be on Miami of Ohio there. I kind of like... I'll be interested to see how that game plays. Fresno State, New Mexico State in the New Mexico Bowl. Hilarious. LA Bulls, UCLA, Boise State, Texas Tech, California in the Independence Bowl. Western Kentucky, Old Dominion in the famous Toastery Bowl. Some of these names are funny, I won't lie. UTSA, Marshall are in the Frisco Bowl. The Boca Raton Bowl is South Florida, Syracuse. We have a lot of damn bowls. Oh my gosh. Gasparelli Bowl is UCF, Georgia Tech. Okay, we have, what are some of these names? Camilla Bowl, we got Arkansas State, NIU, Birmingham Bowl, Duke, Troy. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Utah State, Georgia State. Armed Forces Bowl, we got Air Force versus James Madison. That's going to be a really good one. Wow, that's going to be a really good one, especially if Air Force gets their quarterback back. South Alabama and Eastern Michigan, the 68 Ventures Bowl. I guess they didn't want to make it 69. Las Vegas Bowl, Northwestern Utah. I'm going to love to take Northwestern in that one. Hawaii Bowl, we got San Jose State and Coastal Carolina. Michigan, I think this is where we're starting to get into some of the bigger bowls is after this. Bowling Green, Minnesota, Quick Lane Bowl. First, I'm not going to say bowl after everyone. First Responder, Rice, Texas State. Guaranteed Rate, UNLV, Kansas State, or Kansas, yeah, just UNLV, Kansas. Military Bowl, Tulane, Virginia Tech. Duke's Mayo Bowl, West Virginia, North Carolina. Holiday Bowl, Louisville, USC, that should be interesting. Oklahoma State, Texas A&M are in the Texas Bowl. Fenway Bowl, we got SMU, Boston College. I'm going to be saying bowl in my sleep at this point. Rutgers, Pinstripe Bowl. North Carolina State, Kansas State are in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Arizona, Oklahoma are in the Alamo Bowl. Sun Bowl, we got Notre Dame and Oregon State. Damn, I thought Notre Dame in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Clemson, Kentucky Gator Bowl, Memphis, Iowa State Liberty Bowl. Cotton Bowl is going to be Missouri, Ohio State. That should be a decent one. Ole Miss, Penn State Peach Bowl. Maryland, Auburn, Music City Bowl. Georgia, Florida State are in the Orange Bowl. Arizona Bowl is going to be Toledo, Wyoming. LSU, Wisconsin are in the Real Quest Bowl. Iowa, Tennessee, Citrus Bowl. Oregon, Liberty, Fiesta Bowl. And then the Rose Bowl is going to be Michigan, Alabama, Sugar Bowl, Texas, Washington. That's going to be a great one, man. A lot of bowls to talk about. I can't wait to break them down when we slowly get there at each bowl. To finish out today, I think we'll save the futures for Thursday's episode, potentially, if we run a little bit longer. We'll talk a little bit. You know what? We'll go for futures now real quick. We'll do futures now, and then we'll end it with some quick in-season tournament talk. I gave out the Titans to win the division. That's a no-go. The Colts over 6.5 wins. I gave out that cash, baby. Let's get it. Shout out the Colts. James Conner to have 10 rushing touchdowns. I think those two helped last game, but I think he's a little bit ways off of that, so I'm not even going to worry about looking that up. Colts have 1 touchdown every game, plus 750. That's so far still cashing. We're still doing good there. DK Metcalf to have 10 touchdowns. That's slowly matriculating, but I think he only has like 4, so I don't even know if that's going to be anything. CMC to have 10 rushing touchdowns, was plus 250. So that's a lot higher odds than I thought. That cash, let's get that. 49ers have a touchdown every game, was plus 100. That was the one I was thinking of. That's still going strong. Amon-Ra to have 10 touchdowns. I don't think that's that close. I think he has about 7. Yeah, I'm not going to look up the stats for that one. I think he's not that close. You know what? We'll look it up. We didn't go as long today. I got a little bit of time to spare. We'll look it up real quick. By the way, Thursday I'll talk about the playoff picture a little bit more while I'm going into my bets. We'll save that playoff picture talk for Thursday, since I kind of already slightly talked about it a little bit, kind of like with what teams are in and what teams aren't. So I'll save that for a bit later. Amon-Ra has 6 touchdowns in the year, so we're 4 away. Not horrible. Jalen Hyatt to have 10 touchdowns, I said was a long shot for fun. I did not. Wow, I don't even think he scored once this year, so I'm glad I ended up not taking that one. I don't think Saquon to have 10 rushing touchdowns, not even close. Hurts to have 30 touchdowns, that's not close. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that close. Garrett Wilson have 10 touchdowns. That's not that close. Tyreek Hill to have 10 touchdowns. He might have already hit that. I had Tyreek Hill and A.J. Brown both have 10 touchdowns, so we'll look at those real quick. Tyreek Hill is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tyreek Hill hit his over, so we're good there. Let's go. That's another one. Tyreek Hill's is plus 200. That's another one. Mahomes have 40 passing touchdowns. I don't think it's as close. Chiefs have 1 seed. Nah. 2 would have 30. Let's see. I'll check 2 more, and then we'll go over it quickly. Breeze through the in-season tournament. Who do we have? A.J. Brown and A.J. Brown. Tua has 24 touchdowns, so he's 6 away. I won't lie, that is actually really close to having a chance to hit. That's plus 170. That'd be really nice. And we'll check out A.J. Brown. That's awesome, man. We actually had a few futures already cash. You love to see that. I don't think they give you the money, though, until the end of the year, which is dumb. I don't know why they do that. A.J. Brown has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so he needs 3 more. So A.J. Brown has a real shot. Jeff, what it looks like going through real quick, Tyreek Hill hit his, Tua hit his. Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's going to hit his. CMC has hit his. So we got Tua, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, and Mike Evans have all hit. The Colts hit their win total that I gave out. That's nice for me. I don't know if anybody else took that, but at least it did. But yeah, man, that is awesome, dude. Truly, truly awesome. So we should be up a good bit. We actually should be up a little bit, which is really awesome. You'll just, I don't think they've cashed yet. I'll double check because Mike Evans scored his 10th touchdown yesterday. I don't think they've cashed. If they haven't, I mean, that's nice. That's a little bit of money just sitting there waiting to come on home. So we'll finish, like I said, in-season tournament real quick. Man, been a great episode today. Been a lot to talk about, a lot of football to talk about. It's been really exciting. Yesterday, in-season tournament, I think Pacers won, so they move on. Kings won, so the Pelicans won. Excuse me, I thought the Kings did. No, I was way wrong. The Pelicans won. So they move on. Tonight we got Lakers, Suns, Knicks, Bucks. And then I'm assuming the finals will be... So we at least have 2 teams in the finals. Or I guess quarterfinals, whatever it is. Alright, we're done talking about the in-season tournament. I thought it was going to end this weekend. Apparently there's still going to be a whole other week of it. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. Yeah, we'll figure out the in-season tournament later. Seems like there's going to be... I'll talk about it maybe end of the week. I might briefly touch on it either Thursday or next Tuesday after we wait for more games. Because apparently they have a game. They had the games yesterday, games today, and then there's another gap to more games, I believe. So we'll just deal with that later. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for all the support. It's been a little bit of a long one today. We'll go Thursday. This is what we got going on for y'all. Pick 'em. No college football bets, really. Maybe just one. There's only one game, so potentially not much college football bets. So it's going to be pick 'em, NFL bets, NFL playoff talk. And that's probably going to be... It's going to be a big NFL episode on Thursday. I can't wait for that. So thank you all for watching. And I'll see everybody back in this feed on Thursday.